Alright. Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Doctor Who review, episode number 72. Now, I should point this out though before I get started with this. This is going to be the first of about, well, here's the thing. I have only, of the many of my DVDs I have for Doctor Who, with this story, I have only 14 left. So with those, I can presumably get about to 85, but if I include all some other Doctor stories, which I probably would, it probably could get even higher than that. But, in case you're curious, though, is any special theme with these ones? Not necessarily, except that we'll first start off with basically a few of the last stories of the Tom Baker run for the series. This story in particular was the fifth to last story of his whole run. And that is 100% true. This is the fifth to last story. This is called Full Circle. Part of the E-Space Trilogy, which this trilogy, I'll get to, when I get to Warriors Gate, I'll get to about that one. But this episode in particular is the first appearance of Adric. Yes, played by Matthew Wardhouse, who was interpreted as being Doctor Who's version of Wesley Crusher. In the point, he was smart and he was annoying. That's a fan's interpret him as. Basically, in this story, he's very tolerable, but later on, he gets, you could say he's too big for his britches, as some people might put it. He's just too smart, and by the way, in case you're curious though about the Doctor's outfit, why does he look like he's wearing red? And okay, there is an explanation for this. Okay, I have not reviewed Leaders of Hive yet, which is the first time this outfit first shows up. Now, if you're curious about this Doctor's incarnation, his attire with the gray coat and the multicolored scarf. Yeah, for some reason, with the final season of Tom Baker's run, they completely changed the attire, and also he had to wear these question mark lapels. And this shirt will remain with the remaining three Doctors that come after this one. Yes, they had the same three guys wear the same exact shirt. Because, gotta do marketing for Doctor Who, this actually was an idea of John Nathan Turner. The new well, you could say he's a showrunner of the series. Well, I think at the time he was simply the head writer. Did he write Full Circle? No, that was a guy by the name of Andrew Smith. If you don't know who this guy is, and if you're curious, did he write any other Doctor Who stories this one? Nope. Never did. This was the only one he ever did. And he actually had wanted to write Doctor Who for something. He's had several drafts. Apparently, this was the only script he got to be adapted, which, isn't that something? Like, and here's the thing. After the story, he never wrote a single Doctor Who story again until the 2000s, when Big Finish basically asked him to write some stuff for them. What did he do that period of time? Became a police officer. Yes, seriously. Now, is this story bad per se? No, not necessarily. And basically, I should also point this out though, this is the beginning and the end of the Romana tension on the show, and K9. Well, we'll get to the reason why when we get to Warriors Gate. And also, aside from the Doctor's attire, there's actually a plot point that was actually also John Nathan Turner's idea, which we'll get to that. So apparently, this is of course at the Megiddos, which was the previous story for this one. Originally a job with Earth Friend. Yeah, I need to watch Megiddos when I get a chance. So, basically what happened in the story, see, Romana has been recalled to Gallifrey. Why is she recalled? Well, because basically her task with the key to the time, which they bring up in this story, has been concluded. Like, why has she come back yet? And the thing is, okay, you allow the Doctor to travel in space and time, and the Master, which by the way has not returned yet. He returns after the story concludes. I'll get to him, don't worry. But not Romana? Yeah, there's no explanation for this at all. It could be because maybe Leela Ward basically was running out of stories. They probably ran out of stories for her. And probably also, now here's the thing, I forgot to mention this. This story came out in October to November of 1980. The Doctor's tenure would end just not even 2 months after this. Well, yeah, Tom Baker's one would end 2 months later, and then a year later we actually had the awesome Peter David take over his role. So in this story, Dr. Romano basically going to, and of course you have this, they're going to Gallifrey, and of course you have Kanan there. There's also going to East Space, which we'll get to that. So then they're on the way there, and all of a sudden this little something strange happens, and then they look up like, oh, it's Gallifrey. And they step outside, nope, this is not Gallifrey. Okay, now this is another thing that was also John Nathan's idea. How did the image reducer be functioning? Yep, that was actually all his idea. I read a line, that was all his idea. Yes, and I've seen pictures of this guy. Have I met him? No, I've never met John Nathan. He's sadly since passed away. Apparently, when he showed up to work, he liked wearing Hawaiian shirts. Yes, seriously. Sometimes, here's the thing about this. I've heard stories about this guy. What kind of the most strangest ideas for Doctor stories? As a matter of fact, he's responsible for ending the whole idea of Doctor having a sonic screwdriver with his station. That was all John Nathan Turner's idea to end that thing, get rid of it once and for all. Despite the fact they brought back an Doctor Who movie in the 90s. He's also responsible for basically bringing the concept what we have a sixth Doctor. I'll discuss that when I discuss basically Colin Baker's time on the show, which that will come up in a future episode. Don't worry about that. So a lot of good ideas and bad ideas that he had for the show that happened during this period of time were all him, and he was the showrunner for pretty much the rest of the whole show. You basically were showrunner for the last decade of the show, prior to being pulled from the air by the BBC due to low ratings or whatever. Just other people, just so fans Doctor Who play. So, and of course the plan is very weird. There's also this thing where we have two guys who are swimming in the water, people looking for fruit. Why looking for fruit? Don't know. And we also have these leaders known as decision makers. Or they call themselves the deciders. It's three random old guys. And appoint this sort of young, slightly younger guy to be another decider. Be the one to run things. And we have to, we gotta follow the manual. We gotta follow the manual. That's a common thing with the story. You don't always have to follow the manual. Use your instincts. Yeah, and the Doctor, when he meets up with the Decider, is like, why are you all still here? And he's looking around the ship. When he looks briefly on the ship, he discovers that the ship is actually ready for takeoff. And you're thinking, wait, the ship is in perfectly working order. Why hasn't it left yet? Yes! Yes! Oh, to be continued because presumably supper. Okay, so